Hi guys, thank you very much. Jim, that was tremendous. And there's so many things you say that ring true for a lot of different reasons. And I'll first start with the thank yous to the amazing team Jeff has put together here at Fountain Blue, and Colleen, and your entire team that's committed to so much over a long period of time to get this building up and running, getting its service in the community, but also putting together this incredible Hall of Excellence over a long period of time. So thank you. For my partner Jim and Fran, your tireless effort to bring this to life is nothing short of a miracle, because there's been a lot of times where we conceived of this amazing idea and we had these great artifacts that a lot of times will sit in people's closets for nobody to see. And we all collect them and we keep them and they're meaningful to us, but the reality is they should be on display. They're for people to come and see and to witness and to look at and say, man, maybe one day that will be me. And I think to have those artifacts now displayed in such a beautiful venue, this amazing resort that's filled with so many unique visitors every year, I think it's going to be, there's no greater destination in the world for this Smithsonian of sports artifacts. In fact, I don't think Smithsonian can handle what we put together, so I'm excited for you guys to all see it. I saw this morning when I walked through and Fran said, you know, Tommy, my favorite thing in here is that draft card of yours. And there's a display case with some really cool things that we put together, but there's the card where I got drafted by the Patriots, 199. And it sits in there and I look at it next to kind of the end of my career where there were some really cool jerseys where I broke some lifelong records. One for passing yards in a career. And that was 23 years between the day I was drafted and when that jersey was worn. And it's quite a journey it was. And I don't know everybody that's displayed artifacts and items in the Hall of Excellence. I know a lot of them. But even if I didn't know them, I probably knew what they stood for. I probably knew the values that they possessed in themselves, how they were supported by their families and their friends, by their coaches, by their mentors. They all had a unique story. And what you'll see is a jersey of mine. What I see is people that supported me and loved me, played with me, fought with me, bled with me. They know everything about me. And I see this piece of cloth, jersey, sweat stained, blood stained, and I say, you know what? Couldn't do it without my boy Alex. Couldn't do it without Kevin. I couldn't do it without Ben. I couldn't do it without my mom and dad. Couldn't do it without Thomas or Jeff or Jim or Raul. Everyone that's sitting in here. So everybody in that hall has people that inspired them, that supported them, that held them up. My mom didn't let me play football till I was a high school freshman. She didn't want her little boy to get hurt. I was the youngest of four with three sisters that were all better athletes than I was at the time. And I always wanted to be known as something different than Maureen, Julie, and Nancy's little brother. And I wrote an essay in high school that said, you know, one day they're going to be known as Tom Brady's sisters. And I wasn't much of a student. I focused a lot on my PE grades. My English wasn't always the best, but I think that was one of the better grades that I got. And the fact that my mom allowed me to play, she didn't want me to play Pop Warner, but I tried out for the freshman football team at Sarah High School, and they're now a state powerhouse in California. But at the time, they were known for a baseball school because one of my goats, Barry Bonds, played baseball there. And he was the guy that we all looked up to. We wanted to be like Barry Bonds. And when I was a high school freshman, I tried out for football, but I really wanted to play pro baseball. And as I got going in my football career, I made the freshman football team. We were 0-8. I was the backup quarterback. They never put me in the game. And the fact that I could look at it many years later, from being a 14-year-old kid to almost turning 48 now, is pretty amazing because it was a long journey. And I fought really hard over the course of a long time to be the starting quarterback. By my senior year, I got somewhat recruited by a lot of schools. One of them was the College of San Mateo, a local community college, which that could have been a fallback option. I got recruited by Cal Berkeley. They were local school. They were a great kind of institution. My sister had gone there, but I wanted to make a name for myself, and I wanted to challenge myself. And Michigan, in a crazy way, recruited me because Michigan was where all the top-rated recruits went. I was the backup quarterback on an 0-8 freshman team. And they offered me a scholarship in the spring of my senior year. And I went back to the college. I went into that stadium. It was an empty 112,000 foot stadium where they called my name, from Tom Brady, from Sarah High School, San Mateo, Tom Brady. And I looked up at that empty stadium, and that's when I decided where I wanted to go to college. Now, I had no idea if I'd ever play at that college, but I called my dad from the Detroit airport on the way home, and I said, Dad, I know where I want to go to school. And he cried his eyes out because his baby boy was leaving Cal Berkeley and the College of San Mateo to go to Michigan. And when I showed up to Michigan, as we know, Michigan's quite a bit different than California. And I needed to be toughened up. I needed to be toughened up by the Midwest and the cold and the fact that my parents weren't there to save the day. I needed to grow up. My mom wasn't going to do laundry. My dad wasn't going to bail me out for extra money for, weekend events. I had to work summer jobs at golf courses, and as a construction manager, you can believe that, Jeff? They ever need an intern? That's right. So when I showed up on campus in Michigan, I was the 7th quarterback. But I was backup in high school, and I worked hard to be the starter. And you know what I did? You know what I realized I had to do? I had to work my ass off. And I had to work my ass off the whole way because there was nothing that was ever given. And when I was 7th, I thought about, man, I got to get up there and get there with Greasy and Dreisbach and the other guys who have a good chance to play. And I fought really hard. And every day was a stressful moment. Every day was a day that I had to find something within myself far away from home where I had to show up and compete. And I worked pretty hard at the end of my first year, moved up to about 4th. In my second year, I moved up to 3rd. And there was a sports psychologist named Greg Hart, and Greg passed away about 5 months ago. And I would go in there and bitch and complain to everybody all the time that I wasn't getting the opportunities that other people were getting. Other guys were the coach's favorites. I wasn't. They were getting more opportunities than I was. And he said, why don't you just worry about yourself? And if there was one lesson in life that I took from high school through college into my pro career was worry about yourself and do the best with the opportunity that you get. Don't worry about what everyone else does. Don't go comparing yourself to the opportunities that the other guys are getting. Worry about what you do. And when you do, bring the enthusiasm, the encouragement, the optimism that people need in order to be successful. So when he smacked me in the face with that message, I showed up to practice every day with that enthusiasm and that excitement to earn the trust and respect of the people that I worked with. And I did that, and I earned a spot in my 3rd year as the backup quarterback. And going into my 4th year and 5th year, I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but I won the starting job. And it was a hard-fought job because we recruited the #1 ranked quarterback in the country in my 4th year, and they really wanted him to play. But because I didn't worry about him, I worried about myself, I brought that good attitude every day to my team. And I brought it was positive, it was focused on the team results, and it was focused on encouraging other players to be the best that they could be. So I had a decent college career, unbeknownst by any of the professional scouts. Those are real geniuses. And that draft card got turned in the 6th round, 199th pick overall. Of course, it was a lonely couple days when I didn't get picked in the 1st or 2nd or 3rd round like I thought I was going to get picked. I had the baseball bat from that day that I was walking around the block on, hitting trees and shrubs and anything that was near me as my parents walked in front of me and behind me as a way to blow off steam. And then with the 199th pick, the Patriots called and said they chose me to be on their team, not necessarily their quarterback. So I showed up to New England, not knowing where New England was, because of course New England's not a state, New England's a region. And again, I wasn't much of a student in college either. So I showed up with a great attitude, and I showed up with the same endearing attitude that I had with my Michigan teammates that named me team captain to the Patriots, which was very different because, as we know in pro sports, it's very individual focused. It's always about me and my contract, me and my celebrity, me and my fame, what I can get from this moment. And I brought a different attitude, and I put the team first. And Coach Belichick saw that in me. And he was trying to change the culture of what that team was, because the Patriots lost a lot. They weren't a good program, and we needed to turn it around. And I worked my tail off for an entire first year. I'd show up on Friday mornings when the entire team was practicing at 1 o'clock. I showed up at 6 a.m. to do workouts with the strength coach in the indoor facility every Friday, where I could work out because I wasn't good enough physically to compete at a professional level with the other guys. They were bigger, they were stronger, they were faster. You guys saw my freaking draft photo that's still out there. It was pre-digital era. I didn't realize that would, still be living that thing down 23 years later every time I see it come up on the freaking screen. But it's a great reminder to me that it's not where you start, it's where you finish. And what I wanted to work toward that day was, just like I did at Michigan, I wanted to bring that great attitude, and I wanted to earn it. I wanted to earn the respect of my coaches through my work ethic and through my commitment to the team and to the commitment to what we were trying to accomplish together. So I finally got my shot the Sunday after 9/11, 2 Sundays after 9/11, and unfortunately Drew got injured and I ran onto that field, but I ran on that field prepared. And what a lot of people missed was what was inside of me, and the values that I had learned from the people that raised me, from the people that believed in me, from the people that thought, like my mom did, honey, you're the best one out there. You're the fastest on the field. I said, Mom, I'm the slowest on the field. She said, no, you're not, honey. You're the fastest on the field. And you know what? Sometimes when you're not the best, you need a little encouragement from people to make you feel like you're 9 feet tall. Because sometimes it's that little bit of encouragement that we don't know about that lifts us up when we don't necessarily believe in ourselves. And I had a lot of people along the way that did that for me. And when I took that field, I was running out there, as a Patriot quarterback, but I was out there to represent my family and every single person on that journey that was with me and that boosted me up and believed in me. And I knew that if they put me on the field, they never were going to take me off. And that Bucs jersey that's sitting up there for the career passing yards leader, that's a tribute to all of them. And that's a tribute to all the people that have been on this amazing journey. And there's 7 Super Bowl rings up there. Again, those sat in my closet for a long time. But there's no better place to show them off and to display them in such a beautiful hall of excellence than in this amazing Fontainebleau Resort and Casino. It's a great marriage of what excellence really is. There's a lot of perseverance it takes by a lot of people to ultimately get where you want to go. And nobody can do it alone. We all need each other. We need to support one another. We need to build people up. Again, we're in a world where everyone's so intent on tearing people down to make themselves feel a little bit better. But as we know, that's not the solution to anything. What Greg Harden taught me was, worry about yourself. Do the best you can do. Believe in your teammates and believe in yourself, and bring positive energy and enthusiasm to every single thing that you do. So that's what this is all about for me. That's a personal moment for me. And when I see those other stories, they have similar ones. And I hope I get to meet a lot more people, because people are reaching out to me all the time. Now they want to give Jim more stuff, and Jeff's going to need to build another wing, which I'm sure he's excited about. But I hope everyone enjoys the museum, and I hope for all the children that are able to walk through this museum and realize that even if they don't start playing their sport until they're 13 or 14 years old because their mom wouldn't let them. That's you, Mom. I see you back there now. I'm glad you let me play. Pops, I'm glad you supported me every step of the way. The greatest dad in the world, and I got a chance to spend 4 days in Maui with him, and there's a reason why I got the athleticism I got in a positive way. My mom and dad were the reason and my backbone for the last 47 and a half years of my life, and I love them more than anything, and they're great grandparents, and the best dad, and best mom, and I got great sisters too, so I wouldn't be here without everybody, and certainly I love you guys all. Thank you for being here this morning. Enjoy tonight. Enjoy the beautiful museum that Jeff and his team at Fountain put together, and Jim has worked so hard at. I'm truly grateful and honored to be a part of it all. Thank you.